Welcome to the 2023 Morro Bay Bird Festival, scheduled for January 13 through 16, 2023. Today we're going to be talking about registration, but before we do, we wanted to give you a few details on the 2023 festival. The 2023 festival program includes 160 events. These are made up of 129 field trips, 14 classroom presentations, 7 presentations with associated field trips. We have 3 bird box construction classes, 4 master classes, and 3 special events. For the master classes, on Friday, David Sibley will be giving a class on the basics of bird ID. Also on Friday, photography with Don Quintana and Sarah Killingsworth. On Saturday, Chris Cameron is presenting falconry experience. And also on Saturday, Karen Perry will be doing Pro Gull ID. For special events, on Friday, we have the opening reception at the Morro Bay Community Center. On Saturday, the keynote event will take place with David Allen Sibley. This will take place at Cuesta College, San Luis Obispo. And on Sunday evening, we have dinner with David Allen Sibley and friends at the world famous Madonna Inn in San Luis Obispo. Our special guests, David Sibley. David will be teaching, as we mentioned earlier, a master class. That's trip 125. He'll also be leading 2 field trips. These are trips 223 and 323. David will be delivering the keynote address. That's event 253. And the Sunday dinner at the Madonna Inn. And also there will be 2 book signings, one at the Friday opening event and also at the Saturday keynote speech. Another special guest, John Dunn. John will be leading 5 field trips, 2 on Friday, trips 106 and 137, on Saturday, trip 206, and on Sunday, trips 315 and 343. And a third special guest, Richard Crosley, is joining us. Richard is going to be leading 2 field trips on Saturday, trip 205, Sunday, trip 306, and Richard will also be available at the Festival Bazaar. Registration. Registration for the 2023 festival opens on November 5th at 8 a.m. Pacific Time Zone. The link to registration is shown below, www.signupmaster.com/MBBF. MBBF stands for Morro Bay Bird Festival. You can also practice registration starting October 29th through November 4th at the same web address as shown above. Now we'll move on to demonstration of how registration works. Registration for the Morro Bay Bird Festival is a 4-step process. On this screen, we're going to show you how to use step 1. Step 1 asks that you list all the people who will be registering on this invoice. So it asks for the information to be entered such as first name, last name, phone number, and email. The next step is to enter the age group, and the choices are adult 18 plus or youth 17 and younger. In this case, we'll enter adult. And for attendee type, we have a drop down of attendee, leader, volunteer, or board member. And for this example, we'll enter attendee. You can also enter 3 additional people using this form. In this case, we'll add 1 additional person. And you notice that it gives us a drop down at the bottom, and we'll enter Mary Sparrow, and also as an adult and as an attendee. At this point, we're ready to move to step 2. We do that by clicking the next button. Step 2 is where we select events for all the registrants. You can see that we have 4 days displayed: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And over on the right-hand side is a listing of the attendees that were entered into step 1. So what we want to do is decide which events we want to attend. Hopefully you've written down the numbers by doing the practice session so you know exactly where you want to go at this step. So let's just take some examples. We will slide down and we'll go to trip 111, Back Bay Burning, on Friday, and we will select Jack and Mary to attend that trip, and then we click on Register, Add to Cart. Once we do, if we scroll to the bottom, you can see that those 2 trips have been added. Now we'll move to Saturday. We'll select another trip, Bare Naked Birding, trip number 215, and in this case, we'll just send Jack on that trip. We'll make another selection on Saturday, Ranchland Birding for Mary, add to cart, and you can scroll down and you can see that those 2 Saturday events have been added. And then we'll skip Sunday and we'll go all the way to Monday, and we'll add trip 406, Birding by Careful Observation, for both Jack and Mary, and we'll add those to the cart. It's always a good idea to scroll down and make sure you have the exact trips that you wanted. In the event you've added one that you don't want, you can always click the delete button and remove that trip. If you try to add a trip that conflicts with another trip, you'll get a message back saying that this trip cannot be added. Now we're ready to move to step 3. We do that by clicking the next button at the bottom. The next step is step 2.1, which gives you an opportunity to select box lunches. If you're going to be on all-day field trips, you might want to use this option to purchase a box lunch that you can pick up the morning of that day. And let's just scroll down and select Friday and select Jack for a box lunch. Notice that we have a pop-up that comes up with a choice of meal, and that includes meat gluten-free, veggie, or veggie gluten-free. In this case, we will select meat, add to cart, and Mary also on that. We'll select Mary and we will go with veggie and add to cart. You can always scroll down and make sure that those 2 selections were made. You can see a box lunch here for Jack, and a little further down, a box lunch for Mary. We're now ready to proceed to the next step. In this step, we have an opportunity to select dinner and merchandise. Remember that we talked earlier about dinner with David Sibley and friends on Saturday night at the world famous Madonna Inn. So we have an opportunity to do that. Also, we can select to buy a copy of David Sibley's book, What It's Like to Be a Bird, and also purchase t-shirts. You can make multiple selections of these items. For example, you can buy more than one t-shirt, more than one book, and you can also register a second person for the dinner. And the way you do that is you scroll down and you select the item that you want. In this case, we're going to select David Sibley's book, What It's Like to Be a Bird. Jack's going to purchase that item, and we're going to add that to the cart. Next choice will be to select dinner with David Allen Sibley. And in this case, we're going to purchase that item for both people, and we'll add that to the cart. And lastly, we'll purchase a t-shirt for Jack. Notice that we get a t-shirt choice drop down. In this case, we'll select a men's large, and we'll add that to the cart. If we wanted to purchase an additional dinner, all we have to do is come back, select another dinner, select Jack, and add that to the cart. If we wanted to select another book, come back, select the book, select Mary, select Add to Cart. And once again, can always scroll down and make sure all those items got added into our invoice listing. At this point, we're ready to advance to the next step. In this step, we need to add attendee contact information. So we need to put in an address for Jack. In this case, we'll put in 123 Oak Street in Ojai. We can hit C for California and a zip code, and then country. You have a choice, and they're listed at the top, United States. Phone number is auto-entered, and the email is auto-entered. If Mary's contact information is the same as Jack's, we can just click this box and it will enter that information. If it's different, you have the option to enter that information in. So in this case, we're going to click same as Jack. You can see that information's entered in. Notice that the email did not fill in at the bottom. What we recommend is that every person who registers has a unique email. This will allow each person to use our web app Bobolink to see their information during the Bird Festival. So it's highly recommended that you enter your own information at this point. And now we will click the next arrow to move to the next step. At this point, we're ready to pay for our purchases. Prior to doing that, it's important that you read this section of the registration form, which mentions that cancellations made prior to January 6th will result in a refund less $35 admin fee. Once you've clicked on that, you're ready to pay at this point. You can select either to pay by credit card or you can pay by check. If you elect to pay by check, you need to mail a check to the P.O. Box in Morro Bay within 1 week, or else your registration will automatically be canceled. In most cases, we expect people to be using credit card, and we'll leave that checked. And at this point, we're ready to review the information below, make absolutely sure it's correct. If it's not, you can always use the previous button to go back and make any changes that you want to make. So we're looking good here. We've got everything that we want, and now we click on Submit Registration. At this point, we'll get a pop-up that says, "Are you ready to proceed?" And we'll click Yes. On the next screen, we have the invoice to Jack Sparrow, and there is a Buy Now button that pops up, and we would click on that, enter our credit card information, and at that point in time, you will receive an email saying that you have paid for your purchases. This concludes our video on registration for the 2023 Morro Bay Bird Festival. If you need any assistance in this process, please contact us. The preferred method is by email. You can email us at support@morrobaybirdfestival.org, or you can leave a message on our phone line, 805-600-2147.